The third type of metric conversion that I'd like to review with you is how to deal with either a squared or a cubic unit. That would be a unit that's raised to the second power or a unit that's raised to the third power. So let's take a look at an example. For this particular example, I'd like us to convert 23.7 centigrams squared to kilograms squared. Now that might look a little bit confusing, particularly when you go to look over at the metric conversion chart. I don't see a single squared or cubic unit on there. So how are we going to find an equivalent statement that can take a squared or a cubic unit to another squared or cubic unit? So I'm actually going to kind of consider the fact that centigrams squared is a lot like saying centigrams times centigrams. So instead of really worrying about the centigrams squared right now, I just kind of want to ignore the squareds, almost like they didn't exist. Now I'm dealing with a problem that I more know how to do. I can actually convert from a prefixed unit to a prefixed unit, a centigram to a kilogram. So for right now, that's what I want to consider doing. So we're going to start this problem out just like any other we have done before, where we take what we've been given and we put it over 1 and make it into a fraction. The second step is also going to be the same. We're still going to take the centigram and allow it to cross down to the bottom of the next box to get ready to cancel out. Now I'm going to go shopping for my equivalent statement. That should have centigrams in it. And the only one that I have available to us is centigrams to grams. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the correct numbers to the correct spots. So you can see that there was a 1 in front of the centigram, so I filled that in. And then the second half of the equivalent statement is the 10 to the negative second grams. That has to take the top position. Now, I'm not quite done yet, but also at this point, I know that I can actually officially cross off one of those centigrams, but I'm not just dealing with plain centigrams, I'm dealing with centigrams squared. So now we have to kind of take away this illusion that it didn't exist in the first place, and we actually have to deal with it. So I'm actually going to put in the beginning part here, instead of 23.7 just plain centigrams, I'm going to say 23.7 centigrams times centigrams. And what that allows me to do is to be able to cross off only one of those centigrams with the conversion that I've done so far. I still have one more to convert. So believe it or not, what you really need to do is the very first conversion step that you did, you're going to have to kind of copy and paste it to get rid of that second centigram. So here we go, copy and paste. And now what you're able to do is to cross out that second centigram. Now this is what we do anytime that we have a squared or a cubic unit. Now the difference between this example that's squared and something that would be cubic is that instead of doing this conversion twice, we would have to do it 3 times. Now again, just like the other problems that I've showed you, I'm not going to the calculator right now and I'm not pushing solve because I'm not done. What I have left on the top right now after everything has crossed off is grams times grams, or grams squared. And unfortunately, that's not what I want my problem to end up with. I want to end up with kilograms squared. So we need to continue moving forward with this problem. Now, the conversion factor that I have for kilograms is 1 kilogram equals 10 to the third grams. And I think I can actually make that work. But instead of using it just once, we're going to need to use it twice. So here we go. Grams is going to cross down to the bottom of the next box. Now that sets us up for what numbers go where. So inside of our equivalent statement, we know that grams has to go on the bottom and kilograms has to go on the top. We'll just fill in the appropriate numbers to the appropriate spots. A 1 in front of the kilogram and the 10 to the third goes in front of my grams. Now what's that allow me to do? I can cross off a single set of grams, but I still have one on the top that I still need to convert. So I'm going to need to copy and paste the conversion step that I just did. Ready? Copy and paste. And here we go again, filling in our numbers. And now what that allows us to do is to cross off that final grams. Now at this point, we were able to cross off all of our centigrams. We're able to cross off all of the grams because we did still have to go through that base unit. And I'm left on the top with kilograms times kilograms. And the short way of saying that is kilograms squared. So at this point, I've met the obligations of the problem, and I'm going to start going to the calculator. Now there's a whole mess of numbers here, so how are we going to put this into the calculator? I would type in 23.7 times 10 to the negative second times 10 to the negative second, because all of that is on the top. But then I have two 10 to the thirds on the bottom. So I'm going to hit divided by 10 to the third, divided by 10 to the third, because they're both on the bottom. And when you hit equals, you should come out with the final answer of 2.37 times 10 to the negative ninth kilograms squared.